So I'm excited to talk to you about the medicinal gardens here. You know, like I said, medicine was this up to 100 years ago. This is everything that they use. And so when people talk about, oh, is there research? Is there evidence? You know, is there all those kinds of things? Well, yes, it's called centuries of people using things. And when they found that it had an action, and they continued using it. And these were the medicine men or the shaman or all those people that had passed this on verbally. This is verbal instruction they would pass from one generation to the next. And we just stopped passing it on. Isn't that sad? We just stopped passing it on. So we stopped sharing it with each other, but we need to. We need to continue learning how to do this. So what I have here is so that over there is what I call the flower bed medicine garden, because it's things that you're going to find in everybody's flower bed. And every single thing over there is medicine. This is culinary medicine. So this is all the things that you've cooked with. We have basil and rosemary and all the things in here, cilantro. This is all stuff that you typically just pull out of your cupboard in a dried format and throw it in your food. You don't realize that you actually are putting medicine in your food. And you can make your food more medicinal, or there's certain properties that you can add just based on the things that you add to it. These over here are what I call the Asian herbs, and they are really strongly medicinal. So a lot of these foods are things that you've heard for adrenal strength, for energy, for those kinds of things. And there's a lot of medicine that lives in weeds. And interestingly enough, a lot of the weeds you'll find will be next to the thing that they're helping to treat when you just start to pay attention. So I wanted to point just a few things out. We don't have a lot of time. I just wanted you to see, how things can work. Some of the things to point out. So right over here is something called comfrey. And actually, I know Ludi has 10,000 comfrey plants in her yard. Right here is comfrey. We use comfrey for a few things. We have it right next to the chicken coop. And the reason is because I feed the chickens comfrey every single day. It keeps them very, very healthy. Everybody always comments on how healthy our chickens look. And I believe this is one of the reasons. We also use the comfrey for a lot of different things. It's an external herb, so it promotes healing for injuries and broken bones. This is a perennial, meaning it will grow back every year. And if anyone ever knows Ludi's home, they know that it will spread. A certain kind of comfrey will spread, and it'll take over your universe, whether you want to or not. This kind of comfrey does not. There's a true comfrey, and then there's something called a Russian comfrey, and the Russian comfrey spreads more than the true comfrey. But I want it here because you can use this as a leaf. It's a funky kind of leaf, actually. It has these long threads kind of inside of the stems. But what you do to make a poultice is you just chop up a whole bunch of this leaf, and you can even feel kind of how thready they are. Anyway, you chop this up and you mash it, mix it with a little bit of water or even an oil if you want to. You apply it right onto a wound. Obviously, it would be much more mashed up than this, cut up. But you apply this right onto a wound. And this is amazing for healing bruising, for healing sprains, strains, breaks, those kinds of things. The medicine in comfrey is pretty incredible. It's very good for bone healing, for tooth healing. You can break one of these apart later on and just kind of feel a real kind of mucilaginous, like a real kind of a sticky substance inside of here. And it's incredibly healing. So that's a very good one. It'll reverse infection, prevent and reverse infection both. Eucalyptus. So this is a eucalyptus plant right over here. You can smell it. So if you smell the right here is eucalyptus. This one won't grow back, so this is something I have to plant from seed every year. But you can smell it, and you'll recognize this. This is amazing for respiratory problems. Has anyone been hearing about any respiratory issues lately? Anything ever? So respiratory issues, this is amazing as a steam. All you do is you put this in a pot of water, you boil it, you put a towel over your head and your face over top, not while it's boiling, but after you've removed it from the stove, and you just let that steam come up, and it just clears up all your respiratory passageways. This is what you do so you don't end up in the hospital. This is how you clear things so that you don't end up in the hospital. Eucalyptus, you just use it every few hours, and it's just going to keep you clean. Absolutely could keep some in your shower. You can use it as an essential oil as well. So it doesn't have to be the plant, but I like the plant because I have a whole lot more plant here for pennies, whereas the essential oils, can be expensive. We may not have access to it. So I will just plant this one from seed every year. Ginger I don't have growing, but that's my goal this year. Actually, I will grow ginger this winter. It's great for nausea, stomach troubles. Ginger is something you can preserve. You can keep it in your fridge for a long time. Echinacea. Actually, my is over there. And if you go by my back porch, you'll see there's a kind of a round dryer thing that I have hanging out there. It's full of echinacea right now. It's drying. Echinacea is amazing for your immune system strength. So it's not the thing that you get once you're hit hard with something. It's the thing you take daily to keep strong. So it's very good to not prevent viruses and bacteria. It's to allow your body to be able to defend itself against viruses and bacteria. That's the key, is our bodies have to do the work. We just have to provide it with what it needs to be able to do the work. Peppermint is amazing. And actually, interestingly enough, I've eradicated peppermint intentionally from my yard because it also takes over the universe, but I'm going to have to put it back because I really needed it. So I'm going to try to keep it. And any mint, this is catnip, not catnip, this is citronella that a lot of people will use for mosquito repellent. And any mint family will spread really quickly. And if you want to know how to know if it's a mint family or not, it's to feel the stem. It's square. So any mint family will have a square stem. It means it will take over the universe and will spread rapidly. That's why I have it in a pot. It can't spread outside of that pot. So if you want to plant something, lemon balm is throughout my whole yard and it has just spread there. It's also a very good medicine. So I'm happy to have it. I just don't want it everywhere. So keep it in a pot if you don't want it to spread. Apple cider vinegar. Do you know how to make apple cider vinegar? So easy. I made it last year. You use apple peelings. So if you're making anything with apple preserves, there's so many apples right now, use apple peelings, cover it with water. The yeasts on the apples, on the peels themselves, you can look up the exact instructions. I'll give you the short version, but basically you cover it with water with like a cheesecloth over top and you just let it sit for about 3 weeks. Then you strain out the peelings and all of a sudden you have apple cider vinegar. That's as hard as it is. I believe I put sugar in the water because I had to feed the yeast, but the apple peelings do that as well. It's all you do for making vinegar. That's how everybody made vinegar for hundreds of years. They didn't buy it from the store. They made their own. And the kind that has the mother in it, because it's the yeast that's creating that vinegar. So it's very live. It's really good for digestive troubles, indigestion, poisoning. Vitamin C. Where do we find vitamin C? Everybody's talking about vitamin C these days. Where do we find it? Fruit. So all of these vines back here are full of blackberries. Blackberries are one of the highest concentration of vitamin C in any food. You can also find it in some herbs. Rose hips, which are I have some hips on my roses back over here. They're those little red berries. They're very, very, very high in vitamin C. You can make a tincture out of rose hips that will be like just basically a dose of vitamin C daily. Aloe vera, right next to these little things here is an aloe vera plant. If you've never used an aloe vera plant before, how you utilize it. People always say, well, I don't know what to do with it. You use the leaves themselves and you want to know where the aloe vera gel is? Is this ever? It's inside of the leaf and you just scoop it out of the leaf. That goes right on the skin. And that's what you use for sunburn relief, for any kind of burn relief, a lot of skin conditions. That's all aloe vera is. This will die outside in the winter here, but you just take it inside. That's why I put it in pots too. It just goes inside and then it stays fine all year long. Put that there to show something.
Inside in the garage or in your house?
It needs to not freeze. So it's going to go in my greenhouse. My greenhouse that'll stay all winter long. Baking soda, phenomenal. Just simple basic baking soda. I have like huge bags of baking soda stored for severe heartburn, urinary tract infection. Coconut oil, amazing for makeup removal, antifungal. Coconut oil is a very, very good antifungal. There's just so many medicinal uses for all of these things that you don't know. So that's why I recommend those books. Just get them and you don't have to memorize it. Then okay, I have diaper rash. All right, what could I use? You pop that up, coconut oil. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, I can use that.
What about like dried herbs? Like if you have like dried oregano or like dried like echinacea tea, like is that still helpful or is it best to have fresh?
It's best to have fresh, but you can't have fresh year round.
Yeah.
It's just not possible. So absolutely, dried is fine. What you're going to use is you're going to lose the water soluble vitamins. When you dry something, you're going to lose the water. Right. So water soluble vitamins are vitamin B and vitamin C. So you're going to lose those, but you're going to retain fat soluble vitamins and all the other minerals that are in there are going to stay. Are going to be fine. Yeah. So obviously fresh is going to be better, but dried is going to retain most of what you want.
Is there a tool that you use for ginger to like actually prepare it and like make it easier to deal with in the kitchen? Because I would think I would want to use it more, but I just don't have it.
It's called a spoon. I'm serious. That's how you peel ginger. I learned this in a cooking class. A man had worked in a Chinese restaurant, and he would use a knife, and he would lose half the ginger. And the man that was running it said, no, you use a spoon. So you literally use a spoon you're going to eat with, and you'll be shocked how easy it is. You use the back of that spoon, and you just run it down the ginger, and it just peels that ginger in seconds. Try it. You'll be shocked.
My favorite thing is like the peel isn't harmful, and so like I'll just break off a chunk and I throw it in my smoothie, and you don't even have to do.
You don't have to peel it.
Break it off and throw it in.
Yeah, it's just thick. It's like a thick peel, but you can eat it and it's fine.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Awesome. We're gonna move you on quickly.